There was another big evacuation operation as rural South Auckland was inundated with quick-moving floodwaters last night.
Locals were among the first to pitch in to answer the emergency calls. Alice Wilkins reports.
It wasn't just the lights of emergency services illuminating Ramarama's rising floodwaters last night, but 3 local farmer heroes and the glow of their rescue tractors.
Might as well do it if we can. 2
brothers and their mates assisted fire and police by driving emergency responders through the more than metre-high floodwaters.
A lot of the properties, it's coming through them over waist depth, it's destroying their houses and stuff, so I feel for these people. Carrying
out multiple tractor rescues of families and their pets like Tanya and her cat.
Yeah, no, it's just about in the house, so I had to get out.
One family of 6 they transported had extra cargo.
We put all the dogs in the front end loader bucket, and then one of the owners sat in the bucket to keep them all calm. They're actually pretty well behaved.
What kind of dogs?
It was 15 schnauzers and then 2 Alsatians. I think they breed them or something.
Michelle Point and her family and all their dogs found shelter at Ramarama School.
It was knee-deep and then getting higher all the time.
Today, that was evident when we went back to check on Tanya. The floodwaters tore up her backyard, leaving a mess of muck, overturned pot plants and a sodden garage.
Everything was floating and it was pretty scary.
Down the road, Francis and Morgan's property looks like a lake, but is usually a garden wedding venue.
These bollards here, these stones were totally underwater.
Friends came to help them and their parents clean up today as they emptied the silt-filled garage workshop. The waterline visible on furniture and a friend's brand new, now useless car. In Hunua, the debris over the roads looked like a tangle of pickup sticks. This river breaching its banks so forcefully that it twisted metal gates and decorated fence lines. The roads around Hunua look more like a maze at the moment of twisted power lines and downed trees, giving an idea of just how strong the winds last night were. And even further south in Pōkeno, the worst was not the water but again the wind. Cody Flowerday and her family were asleep in their beds when a giant tree toppled onto them, smashing through their house.
Crashing and glass breaking, and my first instinct was just my babies.
They were all unharmed, but now pieces of tree are mixed with pieces of glass, pine cones and possessions.
Like you just can hear it like over and over, just the glass breaking and just the banging and the cracking of the tree.
Aucklanders replaying a night they'd sooner forget.
Kia ora, Alice. What an incredible story. Now, Whitu Peninsula on the Manukau Heads has been hit by slips again.
Yes, a giant slip in the road near a lighthouse road. Of course, Whitu, one of the areas badly hit in the last round of Auckland storms, but now a huge slip has opened up overnight. A giant chasm in the road, tearing away from that road and making it completely impassable for not only vehicles, but also anyone wanting to pass on foot.
And Alice, there's an update from Auckland Airport too.
Yes, Air New Zealand this afternoon making the decision to cancel remaining flights both in and out of Auckland domestic airports. So that affected about 55 domestic flights this afternoon and evening. They said they made that call because of the strength and direction of the winds that are remaining here in Auckland tonight.
Alice, tēnā koe. Slips have isolated the West Auckland beach villages of Piha and Karikari, with houses destroyed and floods making evacuations near impossible.
More than 200 millimetres of rain fell in just 24 hours, collapsing a 100-metre stretch of cliff at North Piha last night. And nearby, Karikari was also hit hard with slips, flooding and landslides. Our national correspondent Amanda Gillies has the story.
The house never stood a chance. Without warning, the hillside collapsed, boulders and mud smashing through this Karikari beach home.
We've had things out here before, but nothing like this. The damage, it's unbelievable.
The owners returned to their near-century-old home this morning to assess the damage and retrieve some personal items, including a precious violin and stained glass window. Incredibly, both were still intact, but so much, too much was ruined. The owners devastated and traumatised, their neighbours quick to pitch in and help.
Yeah, we just get the tools out and start chopping trees and moving moving things so we can get some people out of here. It's what you do, I think. You get in and help and, don't do the same for us, especially people that have lost everything.
For this small beachside community, it's not over yet, not even close.
I think 5 houses have come down so far or in the process of coming down, and with the potential for another possible 5 if things carry on this way.
Nearby Piha suffered a similar fate, hit hard by multiple slips and flooding. Home after home destroyed or badly damaged, including Jeff Crichton's beach house.
I wouldn't say terrifying because it was all sort of slow motion, but it was certainly it was surreal.
But getting in or out of the area is proving impossible. The road to West Auckland beaches is broken and blocked. It's a tough job for emergency services, and it was a tough night for Newshub cameraman Tim Rathal, who was trapped there between 2 slips.
So I got down there and was told by the fire service to turn around. It wasn't safe, so that was fine. Went back up the hill. I'd only got 200 metres up and a little bit of a slip started coming across the road. Almighty crack, and then just crashed through the bush and about a tonne of dirt. It's not something I want to go through again.
Those who did manage to escape in the middle of the night fled to here, the Trust Arena in Henderson.
We ended up having to kind of grab a bag and go through the fence, through into the neighbour's property to try and even get down the road in some pretty horrific weather.
Among the volunteers to greet the evacuees, former All Blacks Sir Michael Jones and Eroni Clark, their hugs and kai on tap.
So when they walk through the door, they get that sense of love straight away because that's important. We want to be able to make them feel as comfortable as possible.
It's just been to know that they've got a safe place, they feel that they've got that sort of scaffolding around them just to kickstart and get back on their feet.
For many residents, that could be some time, weeks, probably months. Amanda Gillies, Newshub.